From quiet quitting to career cushioning and boomeranging, the workplace has seen its fair share of trends, especially over the past few years.
We can throw in mini retirement in there as well.
Yes.
So let's tell you about the latest trend. It is called the dry promotion. So here to explain and provide tips on how to navigate an offer like this is keynote speaker and wealth consultant Robyn Thompson. Welcome back, Robyn.
Let's start with the very basics. For those who don't know, what does that mean, dry promotion?
Well, all promotions are not created equal, right, Jess? Yeah. So a dry promotion is essentially a promotion, which is an increase in responsibilities, increase in title, but no increase in pay.
Oh.
Right? So it can be an awkward situation where you're like, well, I'm good enough to get a promotion, but I'm not valuable enough to get paid any more money.
Yeah.
So it can start to feel a little uncomfortable, and it's actually more common than you might think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do if you get offered a dry promotion?
No, I think the first thing that you want to recognize here is you want to have a conversation around acknowledging where you are. You have just received a promotion. So that means that you actually have the trust and confidence of your employer, and you want to take that as a win, regardless of the financial compensation that's not tied to it.
Okay.
The second thing you want to look at is you want to make sure that you understand what the potential benefit of this is for you.
Right.
So what is this going to do for you? How is it going to create long-standing wealth for your career? And how is it also going to benefit the company? But what's in it for you? So you want to think about that before you decline the promotion.
Because presumably there's got to be something in it for you, but we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, because, yeah, like let's say you accept this dry. It's just a funny way of putting it. You want to be a little bit lubed up before you accept. But anyway, let's say you accept the dry offer. Can you negotiate the terms?
Yeah, 100%. You are absolutely going to negotiate. You want to stand up and be like, this is my value, this is my worth. They've already told you there's no financial remuneration involved.
Okay.
So what else can you negotiate? So there's 6 different areas that I think you can look at. So one would be flexible work hours and remote options. You want to look at professional development, additional vacation time, fitness memberships, performance bonuses, which is a really big one, mental health days, and a salary review. You want to make sure that you are sitting down with your employer and you're saying, okay, what does the timeline look like for this?
Yeah.
When am I actually going to be able to sit down and renegotiate these terms so I can actually make more money off this?
Yeah.
And remember, this is a negotiation at this point. So you're going to sit down and you're going to be saying, okay, I believe that the company is in this position and I can do this for the company. But in order to do that, how about we tie that to my performance? So if I crush this, because I'm going to crush this, how do I get compensated from a performance perspective? So no money out of their pocket until you put money into their pocket.
Yeah.
Same thing with vacation days or mental health days. I mean, how often do we get our best ideas when we're not sitting behind a desk? So frame it in a way that gives them and you both a leg up.
I love that. I love that.
Okay, this all sounds really interesting, but what are the circumstances under which we would decline a dry promotion?
Yeah.
And there are ways that you are going to decline this promotion. So the first one is you have to understand, does this actually align with my long-term goals? If they want to promote you in a marketing avenue and you actually love operations, then you're probably going to be a little bitter and a little resentment about working more hours and actually not advancing your career. So that would be one place I would say no. The next one you want to take a look at is how much time is this actually going to take? Anytime we increase our work, we're going to have that steep curve where we have to work more hours. Do you have the time and are you willing to commit the time in order to do that?
Without that extra pay.
Exactly.
Underlining that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the last one is, how does this fit into my work-life balance? Listen, your life may already be tickety-boo. You might be like, my life is pretty great the way that it is. I make a great living, I have a great lifestyle balance, I travel, I get to cook class. I mean, this may just not be for you right now, and that's okay.
Okay. So it feels like turning down a dry promotion with your boss in front of you could be awkward. So how would you navigate that?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do is you want to acknowledge the fact that you have been received an acknowledgement or a promotion. So be very grateful that you are seen in a light where you deserve a promotion. But I think at the same time, you want to have a conversation that's respectful. And if you're going to decline the promotion, it could run the line something like, I've given this a lot of thought, but this really isn't the right time for me and my family right now. So I'm going to continue to work on this and continue to give everything I have, but it just doesn't work out for me right now. So, but thank you so much. Another one might be about, I really love what I'm doing right now. and I'm doing a really great job at it. So thank you for acknowledging that, and I'm gonna stay doing this for a little bit longer.
What about the repercussions of turning down that dry promotion? Because I think a lot of people would be really worried. Although you mentioned all these other great things that you can ask for, in this economy, people need money. They don't need extra vacation time. They need cash so they can buy a house or put their kids through college. But they're afraid that if you turn it down, it could be a negative thing towards your job. So how do you handle that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're sugarcoating it because, frankly, we are. I mean, this is not a great position to be in, to be like, hey, good star, gold star for you, but you don't get any money. I think it's about understanding and really putting yourself in a position where you feel like you can decline that promotion, but you're still going to continue to show up at work and do the best job that you can. Because if you take that promotion or don't take that promotion and you come to work bitter and resentful, it's going to show up in your work. And if that's the case, you're going to do yourself harm, you're going to do the company harm, and it's not going to work out very well for you.
Wouldn't it be great if the employer thought about that and just offered you money to go along with that promotion?
That's the thing, right? So you want to negotiate.
But it feels so common now.
Right?
So let's say you're the person who's actually doing the offer of the dry promotion. What should you keep in mind?
You want to be very respectful. So first, put yourself in their position. How would you feel if you were being offered a position where you weren't having an increase in pay? And second, talk to the employee about the bigger vision of what it is the company is up to. Where do they see you going? What is your trajectory? And how do they see you getting there? Because you really need to sell them on this. Because they're going to go home to their family and friends and be like, guess what? I got a promotion. I'm going to be gone a lot more. I'm going to be making the same amount of money, but don't worry, it's going to be okay. So no, because if you don't really have them land in the fact that they are doing this great job, then they're going to feel undervalued. They're going to feel terrible, and that is not what you're trying to do. So honor them, honor yourself, but set them up for success all the way around.
Robyn, thank you so much for this. It's been fascinating. Thank you. Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.